Happy Monday, Saints fans. Welcome into today's show. And as for what we're getting into, we're talking Michael Thomas because CBS Sports listed him as an X factor for the New Orleans Saints in the 2023 season. And Cam Jordan, he was disrespected by ESPN, by the NFL coaches, executives, and all those guys who were voting on the top 10 edge rushers going into this season. But guys, the ESPN wanted to disrespect Cam Jordan, so we're going to show him some love because it's his birthday. Show some love to the legend. Type HBD down in the comments section. Join me in celebrating Cam's birthday. And as always, it's wham, bam, thank you, Cam. We're going to roll this intro video. You have 6 seconds to type HBD. Ready, set, go. All right, so let's talk about the X Factor as CBS Sports listed offensive X Factors for all 32 teams in a recent article, and they selected Michael Thomas as the X Factor for the New Orleans Saints. So let's break down what CBS Sports had to say. I'm going to give some of my reactions, give some of my thoughts as well, and we're going to take a look at why the CBS Sports listed Michael Thomas as an X Factor, and here's what they said. Thomas has missed almost all of the past 3 seasons due to various lower body injuries. The last time we saw him play a full season, he led the league in receiving yards with 1,725, and he set a new single-season passing record for receptions at 149. The Saints did not have much in the way of passing game threats for the first 2 years without Thomas, but Chris Olave has emerged as a number 1 caliber option last year. Can Thomas recapture his form and become a quality number 2? If so, that makes the Saints look like a much different offense. And so my quick take and my quick reaction just when I saw this article and I read through that, I personally and truly do believe that Michael Thomas, if he is healthy, he is still one of the most dominant wide receivers in the NFL. And if he's healthy this season and he puts up the numbers, I just got to say it's bad news for the rest of the NFL. Because if you remember back to week 1 when the Saints took on Atlanta, over in Atlanta, pretty much our second home stadium, Thomas cooked. He made A.J. Terrell look like an absolute fool. I mean, went up and beat him, and then he comes down, he's flexing, he's getting game-tying touchdowns on A.J. Terrell on the Atlanta Falcons, and look at this second picture, he's hitting that flex, he's ready to go, he is angry, he is hyped, he is energized, and what I will say about Michael Thomas is he is one of those guys that still puts up really good numbers as well, and obviously very, very small sample size last year because he missed most of the season due to injury. But in week 1, 8 targets for 5 receptions, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 11.4 yards per catch. He also had 4 first downs coming from Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill throwing the ball a little bit as well. So my point being, Michael Thomas, he can still be that guy. However, I will say this. If Michael Thomas is unhealthy, you still do have some quality options as offensive weapons. If Michael Thomas is unhealthy, we have him listed as number 1 because this whole thing runs whether or not the whole operation, but a lot of offensive success will be determined by Michael Thomas's health. But Chris Olave, Bryan Edwards, A.T. Perry, Rashid Shaheed, Alvin Kamara, Jamaal Williams, Kendre Miller, Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill. You also have Foster Moreau. You also have Traquan Smith on the roster. You still have guys who can make a positive impact for Derek Carr. You still have people who can make plays, extend drives, keep offensive momentum going. And Michael Thomas is a very key piece of that. However, if for whatever reason he's hurt, he doesn't play, then you still have plenty of options for Derek Carr in order to have or to, excel and try to find the most success on the offensive side of the ball. So sound off for me, Who Dat Nation. Will Michael Thomas go nuts this season? Because I think he's going to go crazy. He's on a prove-it kind of deal. He has a lot of doubters. He has a lot of haters. So I need you to let me know. Type N for nuts or type D for, it's going to be kind of a dud of a season where it's not going to be what we expect or what we hope. Let me know in the comment section, Saints fans. And also in the comment section, I'm going to have a link to Michael Thomas, Cameron Jordan, Derek Carr, Brian Brzee, Marshawn Lattimore jerseys for you. But I wanted to show some love to Cam Jordan and Michael Thomas in today's video because those are the two guys we're talking about. So get geared up. Chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. If you order them today, you will definitely have them before week 1. Heck, you'll probably even have them before the preseason, so that way you can rep them when the Saints take on the Chiefs in preseason week 1. Guys, get your jerseys. Link will be available in the comment section in the description. Use our link so Fanatics knows that we sent you. So I also wanted to include this quote because I found it pretty interesting. And this is Chris Olave talking about Michael Thomas. And he was pretty much saying on the Richard Sherman's podcast, he's always been mentoring me since I got drafted. And he's always looked out for me. He's really behind the scenes, but he does so much for me in my rookie year, and I can't even explain it. I'm excited to be able to play with him again, too. He works so hard. We all know what we could do on the field when he's healthy. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL, if not the best. I'm excited to play with him. And as for what Michael Thomas's most recent injury update, there's not really anything new. It's the same stuff that we've been talking about for weeks up to at this point. I mean, last session OTAs, we saw Michael Thomas running around, not doing a ton of activity, but he was catching balls from Derek Carr. He was doing a little bit of stuff off to the side. And the expectation is that Michael Thomas will be ready to roll 100% at training camp. And if you don't believe me, look what he posted on his Snapchat story, his Instagram story pretty recently. Said they was hating on 530 pounds for 1 rep back in mid-April. So there you go, 575 for 5 reps. Go smoke that. And if you remember, he was doing the deadlift, 575 pounds. I mean, I don't know very many injured people who are deadlifting close to 600 pounds. I'm not saying that he's not injured, but I'm just saying I don't know very many people who can do that. So, guys, just a quick reminder, hit the sub button for injury news, updates, buzz, rumors, all sorts of things around the Saints. We provide interactive and informative content. I've been a lifelong Saints fan since the day that I stepped foot on this planet, and I plan to keep bleeding black and gold until the day that I leave. So, guys, help me out. Let's get to 16,000 subs as soon as possible. Subscribe, hit that big red sub button, and join our squad. All right, let's round out today's show talking Cam Jordan because I feel like he was disrespected once again, man. The Saints continue to get disrespected, and Cam Jordan is the most recent victim of that. He didn't make the top 10 list of, or he didn't make the list of top 10 edge rushers voted on by execs, coaches, and NFL scouts. And here is those rankings for you. Just for some reference, I'm not saying that he should be number 1, 2, or 3. Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, and hell, even Hassan Reddick. Incredible football players, phenomenal athletes, and incredibly talented players at their positions. Max Crosby at number 6, Brian Burns at number 7, Matthew Judon at number 8, Von Miller at number 9, and Joey Bosa with the Los Angeles Chargers at number 10. My reaction, though, this is blasphemy. And on the kid's birthday, nonetheless. I mean, come on, ESPN. Come on, NFL execs. Come on, scouts. Like, what is this? How are you going to sit here and say Cameron Jordan is not a top 10 edge rusher? And Cam Jordan actually acknowledged this on Twitter, and I'm going to get to that here in just a second. But I want to show you what ESPN had to say and what their reasoning as for listing him as an honorable mention was. It was the 34-year-old 8-time Pro Bowler doesn't look to be slowing down. He's closed out his 12th NFL season with a 28% run-stop win rate, 8.5 sacks, and 66 tackles. He's a pure power player. He still has enough to know how to get home, an NFL veteran scout said. And he's also solid against the run, a key part of their scheme, and he's probably not as dynamic as he once was. And sure, maybe he wasn't as dynamic as he was 5-6 years ago. I mean, age is a thing. Time passes. It'd be like that. But I love what Cam Jordan had to say on Twitter. He quote tweeted Dov Kleiman, reacting to this top 10 list. And he said, wonder if they have a complete true defensive end ranking. Why is it that edge rushers are taking away from true ends encompassed by the term edge? How many know what stop the run means? He's laughing at that. Him, Brandon Graham, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, and D-Law all are first through fourth down players, not just in the pass rush. So I think that Cam brings up a good point. A defensive end isn't just an edge rusher. He's not just going to get at a true defensive end, at least, isn't going to just get after the quarterback on a passing down. A true defensive end also is effective in the run-stopping game. And the numbers for Cameron Jordan speak for themselves. 66 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks and 13 quarterback hits just last season. He had 12.5 sacks in 2021, 7.5 sacks in 2020, 15.5 sacks in 2019. And he gets the production every single week. And let's just call it how it is. Wham, bam, thank you, Cam. He encapsulates what it means to be a New Orleans Saints football player. He is a strong contributor in the community. He's a strong contributor in the locker room, and he is a strong contributor on the field when it comes to Sundays. He's also a true Iron Man. He's only missed 2 games across his entire NFL career. And what caused that? A global pandemic and get his eye gouged out, essentially. And he's also the all-time sack leader for the Saints. And so I just wanted to show those notes in there, and I just wanted to show Cameron Jordan some love because I feel like he kind of got disrespected on that. You know, if it's true edges, whatever, I guess that makes sense. But Cam brought up a good point. What about the true defensive ends? Like, those are the players that, you know, perform first through fourth down every week. So if you think Cameron Jordan is a top 10 defensive end, type 94 in the comment section. I'm going to be spamming my 94s in the comments. And also, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's content. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up icon, and turn on your notifications. Feel free to interact with me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It's at TraceGerard48. I made it the same username on all 3 platforms. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And as always, y'all stay golden. We'll catch you next time.